good morning. Officials here at the highest levels don't want the people all around the world watching what's happening here today to be confused about what is happening here today. They insist that Zelenskyy isn't bringing along all these European leaders to help him talk Trump out of forcing a bad deal down his throat to end the war. On the contrary, officials here say that they invited these world leaders, White House officials invited these world leaders, so they could get a readout from the guy that just talked to Putin.
This is such a stupid media narrative that they're coming here tomorrow because Trump is going to bully Zelenskyy into a bad deal. We've been working with these people for weeks on this stuff. They're coming here tomorrow because they chose to come here tomorrow. We invited them to come. We invited them to come. The president invited them.
The latest window into the president's thinking via Truth Social, President Zelenskyy of Ukraine can end the war with Russia almost immediately if he wants to, or he can continue to fight. Remember how it started. No getting back Obama given Crimea 12 years ago without a shot being fired, and no going into NATO by Ukraine. Some things never change. But just because President Trump appears there to favor Ukraine giving up some territory does not mean that he is trying to leave them vulnerable to another invasion. Those security guarantees they want are being lined up.
It means that the United States is potentially prepared to be able to give Article 5 security guarantees, but not from NATO, directly from the United States and other European countries. That is big. I mean, really big.
It is very uncommon to see this many heads of state in one place unless you're at a summit, some place in the world that the host country has spent months preparing. This one was set up starting on Saturday.
Please, sir, I want some more.
What?
Please, sir, I want some more.
More? Snatch him! Hold him! Scout him! Pound him! Ground him! Pick him up and bounce him!
Oh my goodness, just brilliant work from our meme maker Jerry right there. Can I please have some more? Has that little fellow ever ever said thank you after America helped him? We'll see. I almost said I'm Benny Johnson. I'm Danny Darabina. I'm filling in for Benny Johnson, who has some family obligations today. So we are doing our best here to hold up the fort because we're not going to miss a second as we take this historic moment live. We have a live shot of the White House. Let's pull that right up. And let's take a look at what it's looking like right now. So this is the White House stakeout location. This is where a lot of reporters will, sort of stand outside awaiting the arrival of a foreign dignitary or anything like that. So right now we are awaiting the arrival of President Zelenskyy of Ukraine to the White House for a very historic day. We'll see if President Trump achieves peace today. This would be a monumental moment for the MAGA doctrine and for the world order in terms of restoring peace. So what we have ahead of us is a pretty big day, and it's why we went live, because we weren't going to miss a moment of it. So there you can see the Marines standing outside. This is the West Wing of the White House, just to give you a little layout of where this is in the White House. The Oval Office is not too far from those doors you're looking at right there. Again, any moment now, we're expecting President Zelenskyy to walk in. Of course, President Trump, this comes off the heels of his very historic summit last week in Alaska with President Putin of Russia. And oh man, this could really come together right now and culminate in world peace, which would again be a massive victory for President Trump's peace agenda across the world. We have a very interesting clip, I believe, of Putin saying just last week he would have never invaded Ukraine had President Trump been in office. We're going to load that up for you because it's just so critical to sort of lay out what is going on today. So, I mean, this is a wild thing, right? We should all be cheering for peace across the world stage. And what you saw last week were a bunch of rabid reporters, like basically cheering against this monumental peace summit that President Trump was able to put together in basically like a week's timing in Alaska on our own turf in our Air Force Base. And what President Trump was able to do is bring these nations to the table. So we saw a couple months ago, we saw Zelenskyy in the White House. We all know how that went down. We'll play that back for you later on because it's It's a good one. It's one where many of President Trump's most iconic moments of this second term have come from. Many of his most iconic memes came from that Oval Office meeting with President Zelensky. So we'll play that for you in a bit. But what we have right here is is Putin saying that he would have never invaded Ukraine had President Trump been in office, and this goes to show the importance of having a strong American president in the White House. And oh man, what a change it's been from Joe Biden the past few years. Let's play this one and you can take a look for yourself.
Remind you that in 2022, during the last contact with the previous administration, I tried to convince my previous American colleague that the situation should not be brought to the point of no return when it would come to hostilities. And I said it quite directly back then that it's a big mistake. Today, when President Trump is saying that if he was the president back then, there will be no war. And I'm quite sure that it would indeed be so. I can confirm that. I think that overall, me and President Trump have built a very good, business-like and trustworthy contact. And I have every reason to believe that moving down this path, we can come, and the sooner the better, to the end of the conflict in Ukraine.
In his own words, right there, it goes to show the power of this president. We've seen him negotiate peace time after time in America. And oh man, we might have a special treat for you coming up. But this could be a very historic day for President Trump. Again, we're out here awaiting President Zelensky in the White House. This is the West Wing, so any moment you'll see, of course, Zelensky approach those doors, and maybe we'll see President Trump there. The big thing that's taking over the betting markets right now is will President Zelensky wear a suit to meet President Trump in the White House? We saw what happened last time when we tried it, and oh boy, here we go. We've got Benny, the man himself. He is joining us live. How are you, Benny?
What's up, guys? All right. How's the connection? Good?
It's good. Solid on my end.
All right. So what's happened? I'm pretty furious because I saw Zelensky. By the way, everyone, I am on vacation with my family. We're up in the Panhandle right now, but I'm not going to miss this. I want to watch it. And two of the kids are napping right now. So I'm like, I'm going to break off and jump in. I'm too curious to see. I saw Zelensky wearing the same thing, the same fit that I wear every single day. I wear this every single day, and Zelensky's at the White House wearing the same damn thing. I should sue him.
Cease and desist, I think. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. He's he's sullying the good name of the black T-shirt. So anyway, we're gonna all watch this together. We've said it a couple times on the program, but we're gonna be covering live some major events, but the show is gonna be off. The show is gonna be off. The regular stream is gonna be off this week, so just announcing it again. I think we should probably announce it and pin it, but the regular streaming show is gonna be off this week, and we sure can pick them. And it's you assume that at the end of August there'd be nothing, but it's a Trump era. So here it is: Zelensky swagger jacking my style. Very angry. What's up, Danny?
What's going on? Man, it's been an interesting day. This was just hours ago. We were seeing him sort of prepare for his meeting in the White House. So this is at a hotel a couple blocks away. I think it might be the Willard. I'm not totally sure about that.
Yeah.
But that would
look like it looked like the White House. So he could show up with a suit. He could still show up with a suit. All right. Let's see the shot.
We're holding out hope.
Yeah. See the shot. He hasn't shown up yet, though.
Nope. No, you can see the Marines sort of staked out there. Reporters seem like they're ravenously ready to, see.
Was every other leader shown up? Here's ALX. Has every other leader shown up? Do we have a leader? Do we have a count?
Yeah, all the leaders showed up. It seems from the from the EU. They just swapped out the flag. They didn't have both flags out there. They just swapped out the flag to the Ukrainian flag 10 minutes ago. And the ETA was 1 p.m. for Zelensky, so it should be pretty imminent. But they had just put that flag out 10 minutes ago.
He's late.
So if he keeps President Trump waiting and doesn't wear a suit, I think that would go really poorly for him.
look at the they have a massive American flag on the executive office building. You can see there, just sort of out the other side of the portico. We were just there at the White House. It was the first time I had the Marines open the door for me. It's really freaking cool. There's nothing like going into the West Wing right there. That's the West Wing entrance. This is where, yes, thank you, cameraman, for literally listening to me and panning. I appreciate that. Little announcement here for the chat, and wanted to tell everyone the good news while we're live, and that Danny is in the process of becoming a White House reporter for our program. Danny is in the process of getting his White House credentials. We were able to negotiate that while we were at the White House. So expect to see a lot more of, we're going to call him Dapper Danny at the White House.
No, it'll be really exciting. And what's really cool is being able to bring the audience into the room. So many of these reporters sort of regurgitate the same questions that they get sent from their executives and, these buildings in New York. And here we read the comment section. Like, you guys tell us what questions to ask. You saw us go out and expose Jasmine Crockett. And man, you guys do ask some good questions in the chat. So we'll be looking at those in the future. And maybe you'll hear them asked on live TV to Caroline Levitt. So that's pretty exciting.
Hey guys, I just reformatted my mic. Just let me know if the sound if it sounds better right now.
Yeah, it sounds a little good.
Yeah.
Again, we're on the road. Okay, cool. Oh, sweet. That's ice. That's ice calling me back. Yeah, Ice. By the way, we can always pick them. There's always something going on. Ice wants us to go do a training with them, to do an ice training. Should we do that, chat? What do we think? They want us to the Ice got connected with me, and the main spokesperson's like, why don't you come up and do a training? Their training facilities in Georgia, and you can do ice training. So sweet.
The chat is very enthusiastically saying yes in all caps. So.
Okay. All right. ALX, what's up, man? Look at that. Look at that beautiful new office for ALX.
Yeah, we're getting moved.
Are you premiering the new
now.
ALX office?
I am. Well, I was getting furniture delivered and stuff. That's why I was here today. And yeah, so we're in the middle of that. But yeah, offices, we got the Trump chair and everything. But yeah, we're just vibing, watching these leaders all roll up. We just had Georgia Maloney. She was one of the last to arrive. And I'm actually going to Italy later this week. So maybe we'll have a meetup there if she's back there. So yep, there she is right there.
There you go.
It's really incredible. They were talking about
Monica Crowley.
Like months.
Sorry to interrupt you. Is that Monica Crowley greeting?
Yep. Yeah, Monica Crowley was one of the ones greeting all of the European leaders as they arrived. But yeah, they were saying that like usually anything with like more than 3 European leaders would take months to prepare for, like the summit, and this was all planned in the last 48 hours. So a lot of people are saying they've never seen anything like this. So it just shows the unprecedented nature for, what they hope to be positive developments in Ukraine.
It's completely remarkable. Yeah, that's exactly right. This is the new ALX office.
I just saw a comment. Yeah. Is this an Easter egg? Like, what's ALX got behind him? Is he in the Trump boardroom from The Apprentice?
No, this is unbelievable. ALX is doing like the full Apprentice.
He's rated like The Apprentice set.
Yeah, this is like total Mad Men. That's great. It's great. I'm gonna miss the old air conditioner window unit, ALX.
Real. No, now I got central air. No more air conditioning window.
Moving on up in Massachusetts. So I've been trying to pay attention. You just like try to swipe through and pay attention to this. All I've seen is that President Trump posted that there's going to be really big news on Russia soon, but I haven't heard any further details. Anybody else got them? Or is that as much as we know? I know it clearly held it very close to the chest. I couldn't believe the mic drop in Alaska. The mic drop in Alaska is one of the craziest things I've ever witnessed live. I know I was screaming like that. Trump and Putin are standing there. All of the press are shrieking, and they're just like, "And we're out!" Boom, and they drop the mic.
Yeah,
I'm not going to drop my mic, but like.
So I actually found this video of a reporter who was covering the whole event. And they made him meet at like 4 a.m. at like a Kmart parking lot, pick them up on these like prison buses, and then bus them into the airbase. And so they made him go through this whole process. Here we go. We have movement there. Cards are
let's
going
go.
up.
Let's go big, Klein. Big. Yep. Is this so? This is going to be Zelenskyy.
This is going to be Zelenskyy. He's the last to
Looks like it.
arrive. I'm almost positive. Yep, I see the Ukrainian flag on the
Ukraine
car.
flag.
All right, boys. Come on. What's the over-under?
President
Suit
Trump.
or no suit? Suit or no suit? He could have changed. He could have
I think
changed.
suit.
I hope it's
Think
a
so?
suit for his own good.
That
doesn't
does
look
not
like
look like a
it.
suit.
Something.
That does not look
No.
like a
President
suit.
Trump, sir, your
Wow.
message to the people of Ukraine as world leaders gathered here today.
It's kind of a
It's a
suit.
dress.
No.
Oh wait, hold on. I
Russia
think it might be a. Is it black on black?
Russia continues to attack civilians in Kharkiv,
There's-
killing many.
I think it's black on
An
black.
overcoat or something?
Dude.
I don't know.
Zelenskyy does look like Zelenskyy looks like the Make-A-Wish kid, or like the guy who just got out of juvenile detention, right, for like selling speedballs, and he's like getting his first internship in like the correctional facility program. He just looks dingy. He just looks unserious. He's so
Cocaine
short.
John Wick. Jerry says
Oh.
cocaine John Wick. Yeah, it's
He just doesn't look
overcoat
okay.
and a
Hold
button-up,
on,
but
hold
no
on.
tie.
Was he wearing a suit?
it's a
Let's see.
an overcoat. It looks like, and then a buttoned up all the way, but no tie.
Yeah.
It's
Very
all
weird
black.
getup.
No, it is a suit jacket. It looks like. I just have a TV with a
So
bigger.
he's wearing
picture.
a black on. Okay, so he's on a black on black suit. Does he have a tie on, or does he just have the
No
suit?
tie. It's just, and it's buttoned. Now that's weird. It's like usually if you don't wear a tie, it's like at least the first button's unbuttoned. It's buttoned up all the way with no tie, and it's just black on black.
It's like Mao Zedong.
Weird looking. Yeah, real.
Yeah, that's like the Mao. That's like the Maoist style of suit. Okay, well, what a
See if
loser.
we can get some.
I hate
Oh, we
Zelensky.
get a
I hate
better
him so
shot.
much. I hate Zelensky. He's such a scumbag. I think there's a lot of I'm rooting for it to all be over. I just want it all done. I'm tired of these personalities. I'm tired of this garbage. I'm tired of people like worshiping this guy. He's such a little rat. And again, he looks like he's on one of those work release programs from
We have
prison.
the close up from Margot.
There we go.
Oh, okay, let's get that close up. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a
Yeah,
jacket.
he does. He looks. Yeah, he's on like a work release program from a local prison, and he was caught. You know, he's doing time for selling speedball to 8th graders, right in the parking lot of the high school. Dude, like Putin looked really small next to Trump. Zelenskyy looks even smaller.
Trump's commenting it on there too. He goes, "I love it."
Hey,
Yeah,
does he,
what did he
said,
say? Make it out
I'll,
there.
I'll shut up.
We play it
Let's
again.
hear it again. I'll shut up.
Classic.
We love them. We love them. Thank you very much, everybody.
That's funny. I haven't never. Maybe it's just because I didn't pay attention. I've never seen the car back out like that. You know, like pulled in and then it went backwards. Strange. The whole thing is like really. The whole thing's really remarkable that this is all happening so quickly. I mean, honestly, the reason why I book a little like beach time with my family, we're just in the Florida Panhandle. This is our little like beach week. But the reason I do this every single week is that it typically is a very slow news week. But this is anything but. The interesting thing is that somebody else cut their vacation short, and that would be JD Vance. JD Vance cut his vacation short to go like tear back in here to hopefully go berserker mode on Zelenskyy again. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah,
I'm sure we have it. I'm sure we have that clip.
Yeah, we have it loaded.
Yeah,
That's a great one. That's just like that's like birthed some of the most classic Trump moments from this term. It's like, did you ever try saying thank you once? And it's so good.
Yep. Let's see it. Okay. All right. So here's what happened last time. All right. So here's what happened last time.
See, JD, you are speaking about what do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have.
Oh, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I thought we had more time. Here we go. Here's the Oval Office. Klein, there's no audio. All right, so let's count it down. Who do we got? We got Steve Witkoff, J.D. Vance, and Marco Rubio. Same arrangement as last time. You got P. Hegseth up there.
In the back as well.
Is that Bassett? I think it's
like,
Bassett.
yeah.
Bassett next to Hegseth. All right.
Here we go.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to have the president of Ukraine with us. We've had a lot of good discussions, a lot of good talks, and I think progress is being made, very, very substantial progress in many ways. We had a good meeting, as you know, just a short while ago with the president of Russia, and I think there's a possibility that something could come out of it, and today's meeting is very important. We have, I guess, the seven very powerful leaders from Europe, and we're going to be meeting with them right after this meeting, and thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. If I can, first of all, thank
Please.
you for invitation and thank you very much for your efforts, personal efforts to stop killings and stop this war. Thank you. And using this opportunity, many thanks to your wife, First Lady of the United States. She sent a letter to Putin about our children, adopted children, and my wife, she, First Lady of Ukraine. She gave the letter. It's not to you, to your wife.
Oh, I want it.
Yeah. So we are saying this sensitive topic. Yeah. Yes, please. And thanks to our partners and that you supported this format that after our meeting we can have leaders who are around us, the UK, France, Germany, Italy, Finland, EU, NATO. I mean, all partners around Ukraine supporting us. Thanks to them and thank you very much for invitation.
Thank you very much for being here.
President Trump.
Do you think it's fair?
Yes, Peter, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. So, President Zelenskyy, you say in a post on X today, Russia must end this war, which it itself started. President Trump, you say President Zelenskyy of Ukraine can end the war with Russia almost immediately if he wants to, which is it?
Yeah, I think that's true. I think we're going to have a meeting. I think if everything works out well today, we'll have a trilat. And I think there will be a reasonable chance of ending the war when we do that.
And is this the end of the road for American support for Ukraine? Is today's meeting deal or no deal?
I can never say that. It's never the end of the road. People are being killed and we want to stop that. So I would not say it's the end of the road. No, I think we have a good chance of doing it. It's been almost 4 years now that a lot of people were killed last week. A lot of people last week. I mean, millions of people killed, but a lot of people last week for whatever reason. A big number, a lot of soldiers, on both sides. And I know the president, I know myself, and I believe Vladimir Putin wants to see it ended.
And as you met with Putin on Friday, today you've got President Zelenskyy here. As you listen to Russia and Ukraine, which side has the better cards?
Well, I don't want to say that. I'm just here to be, look, this isn't my war. This is Joe Biden's war. He's the one that had a lot to do with this happening. And we want to get it ended. And we want it to end good for everybody. We want it to end good. The people of Ukraine have suffered incredibly.
And to that point, President Zelenskyy, are you prepared to keep sending Ukrainian troops to their deaths for another couple of years, or are you going to agree to redraw the maps?
Thank you for your question. So, first of all, we live under each day attacks. That today have been a lot of attacks and a lot of wounded people, and the child was dead, small one year and a half. So we need to stop this war, to stop Russia, and we need support American and European partners. And we will do our best for this. So, and I think we show that we are strong people, and we supported the idea of the United States, of personally of President Trump, to stop this war, to make a diplomatic way of finishing this war. And we are ready for trilateral, as President said. This is a good signal about trilateral. I think this is very good. Thank you.
Mr. President,
if the peace deal will be achieved, are you going to be willing to send American peacekeepers to Ukraine?
but we're going to work with Ukraine. We're going to work with everybody, and we're going to make sure that if there's peace, the peace is going to stay long term. This is very long term. We're not talking about a 2-year peace and then we end up in this mess again. We're going to make sure that everything's good. We'll work with Russia. We're going to work with Ukraine, and we're going to make sure it works. And I think if we can get to peace, it's going to work. I have no doubt about it.
Your team has talked about security guarantees. Could that involve U.S. troops? Would you roll that out in the future?
We'll let you know that maybe later today. We're meeting with 7 great leaders of great countries also, and we'll be talking about that. They'll all be involved, but there'll be a lot of help when it comes to security. There's going to be a lot of help. It's going to be good. They are first line of defense because they're there. They're Europe, but we're going to help them out also. We'll be involved.
Vladimir Putin mentioned that the war will not end without addressing the root causes of this war. Have you had an understanding what are the root causes of this war?
Well, look, the war is going to end. When it ends, I can't tell you, but the war is going to end, and this gentleman wants it to end, and Vladimir Putin wants it to end. I think the whole world is tired of it, and we're going to get it ended. It was, I've done 6 wars. I've ended 6 wars, and I thought this maybe would be the easiest one, and it's not the easiest one. It's a tough one. A lot of reasons for it. And they'll be talking about it for a long time, but they'll be talking about the others. Look, India, Pakistan, we're talking about the big places. When you look at, you just take a look at some of these wars. You go to Africa and take a look at that. Rwanda and the Congo, Republic of the Congo. That's been going on for 31 years. And so we've done a total of 6, and we really have 6, not including the fact that we obliterated, and it turned out to be a total obliteration, the nuclear, as you said, the future nuclear capability of Iran. And this one, I think we're going to get solved also. I feel confident we're going to get it solved.
Thank you, Mr. President. Can you tell us about your conversations with European leaders and what they need to see to support an end to the war?
Yeah, well, we're going to be meeting with a great representative group and 7 very powerful, very big countries and great people, all friends of mine and friends of yours. And we're going to have some suggestions made. They want to see peace. They would like to see peace.
President, you said last
in
night
the red.
President Trump, do you think it's fair to for Ukraine and for Russia to achieve a lasting and durable peace if Ukraine cedes its territories that Russia hasn't yet conquered? Do you think it's a fair peace for Ukraine?
We're going to have a lasting peace. Just to answer the first part of your question, we're going to have a lasting peace. I hope it's going to be immediately. I hope it doesn't have to go on. And I think people of the whole world is going to be very happy when that's announced.
Mr. President, you posted on social media, Mr. President, a very touching letter from the First Lady, and the letter was hand-delivered to President Putin, and it calls for an end to the war, essentially, because of the children and the children's future. Why did the First Lady feel that letter was necessary? Was it because she believes that Mr. Putin is the aggressor in the war? Is a similar letter being hand-delivered to President Zelenskyy?
So the First Lady felt very strongly. She's watched the same thing that you watch and that I watch. I see things that you don't get to see, and it's horrible. But when she's got a great love of children, she has a wonderful son that she loves, probably more than anybody, including me. I hate to say it, but she loves her son. She loves children. And she hates to see something like this happening, and that goes for other wars too. I mean, she sees the heartbreak, the parents, the funerals that you see on television. Always funerals. We want to see something other than funerals. No, she felt it was a beautiful letter. It was very well received by him, and she did ask me to say, she would love to see this end. She would love to see it end, and she says it very openly, very proudly, and with great sorrow because so many people have been killed.
Mr. President, last week,
Brian, go ahead, Brian.
Yes, sir. I've got a question for each of you. First of all, Mr. President Zelensky, you look fabulous in that suit.
I said the same.
Yeah, you look good.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, looks
Isn't that
good.
nice? That's the one that attacked you last time.
Yeah.
See, now he's
I remember that.
Yeah, I apologize to you. You look wonderful. No, my first question for you, President Zelensky.
In the same suit. You see, I changed. You are not.
Maybe yours is much better. Real quickly, upon peace, God willing we get peace, are you open to holding an election in your country?
Yes, of course. We are open for election, yes. We have to do safety circumstances. And a little bit, we need to work in the parliament because during the war you can't have elections, but we can do security. We need, maybe how to say, we need a truth, yes, everywhere, in the battlefield, in the sky, and the sea, yeah, to make possible for people to do democratic, open, legal elections.
So you say
we're ready.
during the war, you can't have elections. So let me just say 3.5 years from now. So you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections? Oh, that's good. I wonder what the fake
You like
news
this
is.
idea?
Yeah.
No.
Speaking of news, I got a question for you. This sounds insane for me even to ask this, but do you think the American media really doesn't even want a peace deal because they've seen they've been so critical of you every step of the way as you lead the charge for peace?
It's an amazing phenomenon. I said that if in the settlement you got Moscow, St. Petersburg, and thousands of miles around them, they would say, I made a bad deal. The level of hatred and animosity is incredible. Not with all. I mean, we have great people up here. We also have terrible people up there that I think are told what to say. But, in solving all of these wars, they don't even write about it. I saw major wars. I saw wars that have been going on for 31, 35, and 37, and a couple of quicker ones. One that was going to go into a full-blown deal very quickly. You know what the one I'm talking about. It was a big one. But they don't even write about that. No matter what I do, no matter what, and this is not anything to do with you. It's probably to your advantage in a certain way. But no matter what I do, no matter what deal I make, from my standpoint, you'll come out good. Maybe President Putin will come out good. But they'll say Trump was absolutely horrible. It's just it. And I've lived with that for a long time. I've lived with it since just before the first election. I used to get great publicity. Now I get the worst publicity anyone's ever gotten in office. But I won in a landslide, so that people understand they're the only ones that count ultimately. But I've also had great reporters. I've had journalists that are very good. But it's very sad when you do the right thing. As an example, they said, because of the fact that Vladimir Putin came to American soil, this was a tremendous defeat for Donald Trump. No, it was really wonderful that he did it. It was a hard thing for him to do, to be honest with you. It was the opposite of what they said, but they said it. Now, if he didn't come, they'd say that was also bad for Trump. There's no way. And there's just a great dishonesty of the press. And I think that's why it's lost its credibility. Its credibility is at an all-time low. We have a thing going on right now in D.C. We went from the most unsafe place anywhere to a place that now friends are calling me up, Democrats are calling me up, and they're saying, sir, I want to thank you. My wife and I went out to dinner last night for the first time in 4 years. And Washington, D.C. is safe. And you did that in 4 days. I'll tell you, it's safe. I had another friend of mine. He has a son who's a great golfer. He's on tour. And he came in fourth yesterday in the big tournament where Scotty Scheffler made the great shot. And he said his son is going to dinner in Washington, D.C. tonight. I said, would you have allowed that to happen a year ago? He said, no way. No way. He said, what you've done is incredible. And I think the people realize it. But the press says, he's a dictator. He's trying to take over. No, all I want is security for our people. But people that haven't gone out to dinner in Washington, D.C. in 2 years are going out to dinner. And the restaurants the last 2 days were busier than they've been in a long time.
Sir,
Thank
I
you.
walked around yesterday with MTG. If you can walk around with DC with MTG and not be attacked, the city is safe.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last week, you warned of what you called severe consequences if a 30-day ceasefire or any type of ceasefire were not agreed to by Russia. Will there be severe consequences? Does that change because of
I
your
don't
meeting
think you
with
need a
President Putin?
ceasefire. You know, if you look at the 6 deals that I settled this year, they were all at war. I didn't do any ceasefires. And I know that it might be good to have, but I can also understand strategically why, well, you know, one country or the other wouldn't want it. You have a ceasefire and they rebuild and rebuild and rebuild, and, you know, maybe they don't want that. But if you look at the 6 deals that we made peace and you know, long-term, long-running wars, I didn't do any ceasefires. Would I like the concept, you know, I like the concept of a ceasefire for one reason, because you'd stop killing people immediately, as opposed to in 2 weeks or 1 week or whatever it takes. But we can work a deal where we're working on a peace deal while they're fighting. They have to fight. I wish they could stop. I'd like them to stop. But strategically, that could be a disadvantage for one side or the other. But all of these deals I made without even the mention of the words ceasefire.
President Zelenskyy, can you explain the decision to offer Ukraine Article 5 like security guarantees, but stop short of pushing for their full membership?
Yeah, well, we haven't done anything on that yet. If you look back and you go back long before President Putin, it was always a statement that they would never allow Ukraine into NATO. So that was a statement that was made, but we haven't discussed any of that yet. We're going to be discussing it today, but we will give them very good protection, very good security. That's part of it. And the people that are waiting for us, they are, I think they're very like-minded. They want to help out all.
Thank you, President. Thank you, President Trump.
Are you disappointed there's no
The United
ceasefire, Mr.
States,
President?
the United States has already given hundreds of billions of dollars to this war effort in Ukraine. At best, it is a stalemate, and the killing continues. So, President Trump, how much more is the United States willing to give Ukraine? And President Zelenskyy, how much more do you want?
Well, I'll start off just by saying we're not giving anything now. We're selling weapons. This is something before, I guess the number is well over $300 billion. That was under Joe Biden, a corrupt politician, not a smart man, never was. By the way, go back 40 years. He was not a smart man 40 years ago either, but now he's in particular bad. This was done by a corrupt administration that shouldn't have been in. And frankly, if the right results of the election were given, if I were president, this war would have never taken place. And he would have been very happy because he would have liked to have seen. I mean, they went through hell. He went through hell. This war would have never happened. And the people that were killed, a couple of million people, a lot of people with soldiers and everything else, and the people that have been displaced and forced into other areas and other countries because of what's happened, none of that would have happened. And I'm just saying that he was a horrible president, whether it was the borders or this. He was just a horrible, corrupt president.
Mr.
President, you want to answer?
I can. Thank you so much. So first of all, we have possibility now to buy weapons from the United States. We are thankful for this program and this opportunity. We are thankful for Europe. They pay for this. And through NATO program, for example, Pearl, and etc. We have some programs where we can have some money to finance this. And this is a part, I think, it's not a part for the war and to defend us. It also will be a part for security guarantees, to strengthen our army, to rearm Ukrainian army. This is very, very important. And it depends how much money we need to rearm. For example, the question of air defense, we spoke about it with President Trump. And I'm happy that we have now bilateral decisions and we work on it with production, American production. Nobody in Europe has so many air defense like Patriots, for example. We need it very much. And this is also about defending.
I think the good news, we make the best military equipment in the world by far. You mentioned the Patriots. How good are they?
Systems.
We have systems, they're literally 100% foolproof. And it's really like shooting 2 bullets, you know, 2 bullets hitting each other in the air in a space like this. The chance is 100%. It's 99 to 100%. So we sell the equipment to NATO, and NATO does what, I don't know what the arrangement is that you have with, but I know that they want you to have the equipment. And we're getting the best equipment in the world, but they pay us for the equipment. Under Biden, it was just crazy what was going on. I believe the number is over 300. I think it could be $350 billion worth of equipment and money and everything else. And we've made more progress in settling this war in the last 2 months than they made in 4 years. This should have been settled a long time ago, but it should have never happened. Yeah, please.
Real quickly, you pushed out on social media.
All right, Brian, go first.
You pushed out on social media about doing away with mail-in ballots and potentially electronic voting machines. Can you expand on that and how important
Well, that's a very off-topic, just really quickly. Mail-in ballots are corrupt. Mail-in ballots, you can never have a real democracy with mail-in ballots. And we, as a Republican Party, are going to do everything possible that we get rid of mail-in ballots. We're going to start with an executive order that's being written right now by the best lawyers in the country to end mail-in ballots because they're corrupt. And you know that we're the only country in the world, I believe, I may be wrong, but just about the only country in the world that uses it because of what's happened. Massive fraud all over the place. The other thing we want change are the machines. For all of the money they spend, it's approximately 10 times more expensive than paper ballots. And paper ballots are very sophisticated with the watermark paper and everything else. We would get secure elections. We'd get much faster results. The machines, I mean, they say we're going to have the results in 2 weeks. With paper ballots, you have the results that night. Most people almost have, but most people, many countries use paper ballots. It's the most secure form. So between paper ballots, very, very important, paper ballots, and I think maybe even more important, the mail-in voting. We're going to end mail-in voting. It's a fraud. If you have mail-in vote, even Jimmy Carter with this commission, they set it up. He said the one thing about mail-in voting, you will never have an honest election if you have mail-in. And it's time that the Republicans get tough and stop it because the Democrats want it. It's the only way they can get elected. Because with men and women's sports and with transgender for everybody and open borders and all of the horrible things, and now the new thing is they love crime. They're fighting me on the fact that I've made Washington, D.C. safe. We're not going to get mugged, beaten up, or killed like all the people you've been watching get so badly hurt. I'm glad. I hate to take your time with this, but I'm glad you asked me that question. Sorry. We're going to stop mail-in ballots because it's corrupt. You know, when you go to a voting booth and you do it the right way and you go to a state that runs it properly, you go in, they even ask me, they asked me for my license plate, for identity. I said, I don't know if I have it. They said, sir, you have to have it. I was very impressed, actually. But it's very hard to cheat with mail-in voting. As you know what happens in California, it's so corrupt where some people get 5, 6, 7 ballots delivered to them. Now, we got to stop mail-in voting, and the Republicans have to lead the charge. The Democrats want it because they have horrible policy. If you have mail-in voting, you're not going to have many Democrats get elected. That's bigger than anything having to do with redistricting, believe me. And the Republicans have to get smart. We're not going to have a country. I said for a long time at rallies, you need borders and you need free and fair elections. Those two things. Otherwise, you don't have. We have strong borders now. In 90 days, Mr. President, we didn't have 0 in 3 months. Not one person came in illegally into our country. In fact, even I find that hard to believe, but it's run by a little bit of a liberal group that put out the numbers. So I guess it's, but 0, 0, and 0. You go back a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 millions of people poured into our country. It was terrible. Thank you very much.
What guarantees do you need from President Trump to be able to make a deal? Is it American troops, intelligence, equipment? What is it?
Everything. And really, it includes 2 parts. First, strong Ukrainian army. That's what I began to discuss with your colleagues. And it's a lot about weapon and then people and training missions and intelligence. And second, we will discuss with our partners. It depends on big countries, on the United States, on a lot of our friends.
And Mr. President, are you willing to commit American troops to that NATO-like protection in order to get President Zelenskyy to a deal today?
Well, I don't know if you define it that way, but NATO-like, I mean, we're going to give, we have people waiting in another room right now. They're all here from Europe, biggest people in Europe, and they want to give protection. They feel very strongly about it, and we'll help them out with that. I think it's very important. I think it's very important to get the deal done.
You've been involved with the peacekeeping in Ukraine since your first day in the administration. What would you say to the Ukrainian people right now who are suffering under the Russian attacks and hoping that the American people will stand with them?
Well, I know Ukrainian people. I've known many over the years. They're great people. They're smart. They're energetic. They love their country. I mean, they love their country, and we want to get this war ended. That's all I can do. I love the Ukrainian people, but I love all people. I love the Russian people. I love them all. I want to get the war stopped. Very important.
Mr. President, was there any aspect of your discussion with Vladimir Putin that left you disappointed?
Look, we just spoke to, I was just telling the president, I just spoke to President Putin indirectly, and we're going to have a phone call right after these meetings today. And we may or may not have a trilat. If we don't have a trilat, then the fighting continues. And if we do, we have a good chance. I think if we have a trilat, there's a good chance of maybe ending it. But he's expecting my call when we're finished with this meeting. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Let's go right on that way. Let's go, guys. Thank you, press. Let's go. Move. Come on, guys. Let's go.
There, what you were listening to are the press wranglers whose job it is to save the president from the seething and screeching of the press as they get escorted outside of the room. There, you see the new Rose Garden. Alex, what do you think about that? That was wild.
It went a lot better than it did the last time, and you'll note the multiple comments about the attire that Zelenskyy was wearing from the moment that he walked in. It was the first thing that Trump said when he was walking in the door, saying, "Oh, I like this." And I'll have to listen to it again. I swear I heard Zelenskyy say it's the best I had or something like that. I forget it.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that's what I heard. I'll have to watch it again. But then Brian Glenn, who asked the question the last time, why aren't you wearing a suit? Then complimented the fact that he wore a suit. And then what did Zelenskyy say? Did he say you're wearing the same suit as last time?
Yeah.
Glenn?
So he was roasting him back, and that was epic. That was a great moment.
So the vibe was a lot more positive, and it seemed as though one of the questions that were asked to they were saying, are you going to accept any giving up any land or any of that? And usually in the past, Zelenskyy has been very reticent to even suggest or entertain that, and he'd say, no, we're fighting the war or whatever. We're not going to give up any land, blah blah blah. This, he kind of seemed like he was, he didn't deny that it was going to happen. He said that it looks like we're on track for a triad this week, possibly. So it's really a change in tune from the last time, which was obviously more hostile. And then, Zelenskyy just seems to have changed his attitude and tune and more focused on ending the war rather than in the past, the whole Lindsey Graham type scenario of we must support Ukraine at all costs, and not even outlining what victory looks like for them. That's what we've seen out of Zelenskyy and all of the pro-Ukraine people in our government in the past, and it seems like the attitude has shifted, and now they're focused on actually coming to a resolution of the war. So I think it's very positive. We'll have to see what the actual the meeting with all of the other EU leaders will actually look like. And again, like I said earlier, it's really a big deal that all of them kind of flew out on like a drop of a hat. Usually it takes like months to plan these things with more than 3 EU leaders. This was all planned in 48 hours. So that really must show that there have been positive developments on the phone call that Trump had on the way back from Alaska. And actually, so I was hearing from people on the plane, Jack Posobiec being one of them, that he was on the phone nearly the entire time. And then even when they landed on Air Force One, they were stopped at Joint Base Andrews, and no one was getting off the plane because obviously you got the president get off. And they held up at like Joint Base Andrews for I think about 30 minutes because he was still on the phone at 2 a.m. with Zelenskyy. So it really, and again, it shows that like there must have been some really positive developments on those phone calls because, you know, all those leaders on a 48-hour notice flying to DC, it just, you know, the attitude has completely shifted. So it seems like that there is hope for possibly a trilateral agreement this weekend, or, you know, people are saying Friday. I don't know. That's optimistic, I think, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, very encouraging and such a departure from what we've seen. And of course, like you wouldn't do this whole, you wouldn't fly in basically every European leader if you could have just done this like entire summit in an email. Like you're doing this because there's something concrete that has happened since President Trump last met with Putin just a couple of days ago. And now all of a sudden they're all here in DC again on our turf. So we're really like the mediators of this whole thing. President Trump, again, his MAGA doctrine really bringing peace of the world stage. So it's pretty encouraging. We had that picture of Zelenskyy up a moment ago, which was interesting. You could see what he had on. If we zoom in, it's kind of like a suit. It's kind of not a suit. It's like his best attempt, but President Trump seemed like he was very appreciative of the gesture of not wearing a tracksuit to the White House again. So there you go.
I can't even tell what kind of jacket it is, but it is some sort of a suit jacket.
Pockets on the chest. Yeah.
Like it has the like whatever that's called, but it doesn't go all the way down.
Weird.
It looks like, I don't know. It looks like it's like a half overcoat, but it's like cut off like a normal jacket. So I don't know what he's wearing.
We have the video from the Oval Office, I think, which you should definitely play. It's again Brian Glenn following up on their last Oval Office meeting where he did not wear a suit.
Zelenskyy, you look fabulous in that suit.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, you look good.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, looks good.
I said to the one that attacked you last time. See, now he's I remember that.
Yeah, I apologize to you. You look wonderful. No, my first question for you, President Zelenskyy.
In the same suit. You see, I changed. You are not.
Maybe yours is much better.
That was so great.
Yeah, the attitude is much more positive, and you know. Again, like his engagement with reporters and just his rapport with Trump is, you know, promising that it seems like they're more on the same page this time.
That's right. What do you think? Should we play back their old Oval Office encounter? Just for people to see the contrast, and let's. I think that's a good note to sort of show how much progress we've made in just a couple of weeks since they last met at the White House. President Trump again bringing peace to the world stage. Pretty exciting.
What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
Feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
Not playing
cards.
cards.
Right now, you don't.
I'm very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
what you're
You're
speaking about?
gambling with
What are you
World
speaking
War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with all
backed
respect to
you
your
far
country.
more than a lot of people said they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once? This
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of
are you
America
speaking about?
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of
we are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid
thank-
president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave, but they had to use our military.
What about you are
If
speaking?
you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I
Again,
tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of
except
times
that there,
thank you
except
to
that-
American people.
Except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low
know.
on soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't, please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're
I
saying
said-
you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
it doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what
That
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was
wasn't
with
you.
a guy named Biden who was not a smart person.
This
That
is
was
your-
with,
this
that was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make,
Um,
because the attitudes have to change.
what if
Yeah.
Man, what a contrast there. That was just a couple
Definitely.
weeks ago.
Yeah, definitely a lot different.
Same room. The posture is totally different. You can see on Zelensky, obviously his outfit, like he actually showed some respect for the people's house and the president.
Mhm.
Totally different.
Yep.
You can
Whole
see here, he's
vibe
not
shift.
like, yeah, looks a lot less like tense. It seems like they've had a lot of conversations in between these last two meetings. They seem like they have more rapport.
Mhm.
Totally
For sure.
different. White House has
Yeah.
probably gotten a little more gold since last time. That's like the best barometer for like time differentials in the White House is how much gold has Trump added to the White House since the last meeting. You can see it's actually a decent amount.
Yeah.
Looks a lot
I
sharper.
see it. Yeah. And it's funny, I was actually in the Oval Office a day before the Zelensky meeting. So that was one of my first impressions too, was just seeing, I had never personally been in the Oval Office before that, but just seeing all the gold and then the amount of like paintings on the wall, is this how it's always been? And then like I had ended up reading like one of the days after that like he had just added all those paintings, and then I just saw like the before and after, the famous one of him and Biden, and it's just like crazy how much it's
Such
changed.
a difference. Oh yeah. Biden's just like all gray. It was like it had no color to it. It had like the blue rug that was like weird. It didn't really fit, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the vibe.
I like this. Got the fresh Air Force One in the middle. That's coming soon.
Yep.
There we go. Man, what a change. I feel pretty positive after seeing what we just saw in the Oval Office. I think we might be getting peace soon. We've seen President Trump do this countless times during this administration and the last one. So we'll see what happens, but I think today was pretty encouraging.
Yeah, I agree, and we'll have to see what later so Trump's going to be meeting with the other EU leaders privately, and then there's going to be another meeting in the East Room, I think it is, just with all of the other EU leaders, and I'm pretty sure that Zelensky's going to be there as well. So we'll have to see, what comes out of that, if there's any announcements after meeting with the other EU leaders.
Yep. Watch this space, guys. Stay tuned. We're not going to miss a moment of it. Man, I'm glad we we pushed live when we did. That was great to watch.
Perfect.
All right, guys. I'm
Awesome.
Danny D'Urbino. Great to
Alex.
catch you all.
See this.
Please, sir. I want some more.
What?
Please, sir. I want some more.
More?
Welcome to my borrowed factory. You will with my borrowed factory. So much democracy when you employer me. You want to win your next election. I can help you win your erection. So much democracy. You will win with my factory. You put your ballot in. I take your ballot out. I change them to your name. That's what democracy all about. In my ballot factory. In my ballot
The Daily Show, where the truth gonna be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up tall, run from CBP, but don't ever fear. It's the Danny Show. It's like the Benny Show, but with better hair.
From the border to the stage, Danny sharp like a blade. Homie, cut the bullshit, watch the truth escalate. With the warrior's heart, this vato never fades. You know it's prime time when Danny invades.
It's the Danny Show, where the truth gonna be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up tall, run from CBP, but don't ever fear. It's the Danny Show. It's like the Benny Show, but with better hair.
From the border to the stage, Danny sharp like a blade. Homie, cut the bullshit, watch the truth escalate. With the warrior's heart, this vato never fades. You know it's prime time when Danny invades.
It's the Danny Show, where the truth gonna be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up tall, run from CBP, but don't ever fear. It's the Danny Show. It's like the Benny Show, but with better hair.